sunny and hot, 90 degrees in Los Angeles, California. The historic Coliseum in Los Angeles, the scene. Two teams with great NFL winning traditions. The Cleveland Browns, Los Angeles Raiders struggling here in 1992. They're both 0-2. Hello, everyone. Dick Enberg with Bob Trumpy. It's also a game that features new quarterbacks, both teams. Bernie Kosar injured Monday night. We'll see Todd Philcox. Todd Marinovich, 23. The redhead goes for the Raiders.
Yeah, and you know, I think the change of quarterback from Schrader to Marinovich tells all of the Los Angeles Raiders, we don't care if you had your best game of your career last week. We count wins. And the message has to get through to this Los Angeles Raider football team that we are interested in being a factor once again. Forget the individual statistics. That's why Marinovich starts, Dick.
The Raiders have lost 6 straight games going back to last season and the playoffs, and will get the ball first. Stover's kick into the end zone and taken out by Grady. He risks that and goes down at the 9-yard line with a flag. Let's go back to last year's playoff as the Raiders come on the field. Todd Marinovich, what are you going to show us here?
Well, one of the things that Marinovich has had to learn in the offseason is to look off defensive backs. Ethan Horton, the primary receiver on the right. Watch Deron Cherry read the eyes of Todd Marinovich as he goes back. This is one of the 4 interceptions that the young quarterback threw. He never takes his eyes off of 88 Ethan Horton, and Deron Cherry right there to make the pick. Now, 4 days a week, Marinovich was with Mike White in the offseason, preparing himself to be the starter now. Hopefully, the Raiders hope he's learned a lot, and that's one of the big aspects that he has to fix in his schooling as a professional quarterback.
He's only 23, now the youngest starting quarterback in the NFL. He starts in the hole. There was also a illegal use of the hands penalty on the return of the kickoff, and it's the Raiders and Marinovich just inside the 5-yard line. Art Shell, the headmaster in his 4th year with the Raiders. Eric Dickerson, former great with the Rams in this city. He gets the call and picks up 3-4 yards into the grasp of middle linebacker Mike Johnson, number 59. The lineup for Los Angeles, and it does not include Max Montoya. He's injured, so Todd Pete, number 64, opens at right guard. Montoya on the injured list. Marinovich will have the blocker, Steve Smith. Eric Dickerson will also see Marcus Allen and Nick Bell. Willie Gold, Tim Brown, the speed outside. Brown now the starter over Fernandez. Ethan Horton is the tight end. You'll see Allen and Grady come in pass situations. 2nd down and 5. Dickerson again. Flags down, and Dickerson across the 10 to 11-yard line, far short of the first down. The white jersey defense of the Browns. Burnett, Jones, Johnson, and Pleasant, a very young front 4. Brandon Johnson and Matthews, a tough core of linebackers. And the back 4 of Taylor and Wilburn. Barry Wilburn starts at the corner. The former Washington Redskin Eric Turner, a budding star in the NFL at the strong safety, a big hitter. Vince Newsom with him. Leading tackler last year for the Browns. Hilliard and Moore come in as the extra backs in the dime. Apparently no flag on the play, so it'll be 3rd down and 3. Come on, John. Brown in motion. Marinovich, first pass of the game. And he has a completion on the first down to Willie Gault at the 20-yard line.
We'll watch Willie Gault. One of the things that I think everyone criticized Willie Gault with his track background was he wouldn't catch the ball over the middle underneath coverage. Now you see Willie Gault on just a little 6-yard crossing pattern. Todd Marinovich told us yesterday he likes to throw the ball short. Let him run with it.
Marinovich with at number 12. You see Gault, 50 catches. Marinovich, the bootleg. Wide open is Horton, the tight end at the 38-yard line.
That's one of the things the Raiders, I think, will explore with Marinovich. You'll see the role, the good influence by the offensive line, the fake to Eric Dickerson. You see 88 coming across behind the defense. Marinovich, good mobility, and he's 2 for 2.
He doesn't have a strong arm, but Horton and the rest of the receivers will tell you he throws a very catchable ball and is very accurate. And they say that the great Ken Stabler didn't throw as hard as this kid.
Yeah.
Stabler, a big fan of Marinovich. They both were number 12. As Dickerson threw a hole to the 43-yard line on first down.
But, Dick, let me tell you something about Todd Marinovich being the quarterback here. I think the Los Angeles Raiders, the one thing you know about them historically, they've tried to intimidate opponents. They can't intimidate an opponent with Todd Marinovich at quarterback. You intimidate opponents by running the football. If there is a problem with the Los Angeles Raiders, it's that they don't threaten defenses with Bo Jackson, with Marcus Allen when he was healthy, and a great running back, Mark Van Egan. Defenses don't set 8 guys at the line of scrimmage to stop the run anymore against the Raiders, Dick.
And yet the Raiders will run more than any team in the league. At least they have the last couple of years. There's a screen to Dickerson, caught by the heels by James Jones, the second-year defensive lineman from Northern Iowa.
Now, my impression at the early stages of this football game is that this little bit of the offense shown by the Raiders is to get Todd Marinovich's feet on the ground. Nothing out of the ordinary, nothing special. A little roll he's very comfortable with to the left. The screen to Dickerson. They're being very, very cute here with Marinovich to start this football game.
3rd down and 7. The first time he has to make a call, probably a pass where he knows that defense is looking past and are going to come after him. Marcus Allen, 3rd down in the game. The protection overshoots the mark, and almost a Browns interception. Willie Gault was the intended target. Vince Newsom deep in the secondary, close to the ball for the Browns.
The first thing you got to do to compete in the NFL, you got to protect the quarterback. Raiders offensive line does a good job. You see 57, one of the linebackers, Clay Matthews, rushing the quarterback.
Marinovich started at his 5-yard line, got it out to the 42 as he chats with veteran Jay Schrader. Schrader, very Southern California-ish.
I like that picture, too. Schrader and Marinovich talking on the sideline.
Eric Metcalf, his daddy Terry, who played at Long Beach State. And the Rams in a trouble with a snap. The Browns pick it up and have it at the 30. Number 27, Stephon Moore, inside the 15-yard line. So Cleveland opens with a big break. Aaron Wallace saved a touchdown.
Dick, there was nothing wrong with that snap.
Dan Turk, a left-handed snapper. Psycho is nickname. Here's Jeff Gossett. Ball right in his mitts, and a former third baseman in the New York Mets organization muffs it. The Browns pick up the fumble. And that very well could have been an easy 6 points.
Wow.
Stopped inside the 15.
Gossett looked like a catcher there, and that ball bouncing off of his shin pads. I mean, Gossett is a very good athlete. That's a shocking picture to look at.
Todd Philcox from Syracuse. Played only as a senior there. Was the backup to All-America Don McPherson. Hands it off to veteran James Brooks, and Brooks gets only a yard into the grasp of Anthony Bell.
Well, if you wanted a young man like Todd Philcox to have a great start in his first start, 1st and 10 at the 15-yard line of your opponent is a great start.
Tommy Vardell, the rookie from Stanford, the number 1 pick. And the veteran James Brooks in the backfield behind him. Brooks now sent out on a wing. Michael Jackson to the near side, number 1. Vardell, the only running back on 2nd down and 9. It's Vardell up the middle. And the man they call touchdown Tommy at Stanford drives to the 10-yard line where it's 3rd and 5. Long, and Bruce made the tackle. The offensive line, Jones, Fike, the veteran Hilgenberg acquired from the Bears, King and Childress. That is the soft spot in this Cleveland team. They've had trouble protecting the quarterback. Gozar sacked 13 times in 2 games. Philcox with Brooks, Vardell Jackson, and Sean Collins acquired from the Falcons. The wideouts, Mark Bavaro, the All-Pro from the Giants at tight end, and their 4 wide, Metcalf and Holohan, come in. 3rd down and 5. Philcox, first pass. Caught inside the 5-yard line. Eddie Anderson makes the hit. And Pete Holohan, always tough on 3rd down, the receiver. And it's good enough for a 1st down, I believe.
I'm sure that Todd Philcox and Bill Belichick are happy to get that first pass out of the way for Todd Philcox. Just a simple out pattern to the tight end, Holohan. The best hands maybe in the NFL. throw it to a sure-handed guy, make sure we get a completion. Phil Cox gets off to a great start here in his first start.
They spotted at the 4, moved the chains, 1st and goal, Cleveland. 8:25 left in the opening quarter. First possession for the Browns came off the fumble by the punter Gossett. Metcalf in motion. They throw to Metcalf. He's out of bounds. No, they say touchdown. Whoa, touchdown Cleveland. There was a hesitation by the official, and on the replay we'll see why, as Jeff Gossett's fumble, recovered by the Browns at the 14 of Los Angeles, leads to a quick score.
You know, Dick, I've always thought that there ought to be a way using our technology for the NFL to check on plays like this just to make sure. That's 1 foot down.
Oh, it's a good call.
It's an excellent call.
From our angle, it looked, you thought, and I thought that was out of bounds, and what a play by Metcalf, dragging that toe of the right foot, and it is 6 for Cleveland.
And maybe more importantly, Todd Philcox 2 for 2, 1 for a touchdown.
Matt Stover with the upright and lost an extra point on Monday night against Miami that may have changed the course of the game against the Dolphins when it appeared Cleveland had a victory. Makes the extra point. 7-0 Cleveland.
July 1992. Oldsmobile goes further than any other car company.
4-yard pass from Todd Philcox. It took the Browns 4 plays after the fumble recovery to go the 14 yards. Here's the score.
You see Metcalf going in motion. Watch Jones, the linebacker, get caught in the wash. He gets behind him, and all of a sudden, it's wide open for Eric Metcalf. Good pass protection by the Cleveland offensive line. Well thrown, and a beautiful catch to stay in bounds by Metcalf.
That was Belletti. The kickoff by Stover. Grady with Olympic speed, and he's cartwheeled down by number 52, Richard Brown. Oh, my.
Acquired from San Diego last year because of his special teams prowess.
That's a big leg hit.
This is not the way the Raiders wanted to start this football game.
Couple finals in. New Orleans on Morton Anderson's 47-yard field goal, beating Atlanta 10-7. Overtime, Houston wins on Del Greco's 39-yard field goal. Houston 23, Kansas City 20. Here, 7-0 Cleveland, 8 minutes left, first quarter. Marinovich, who started at the 5-yard line the first possession, now starts at the 15. To the sidelines. Incomplete. Intended for Willie Gold. You could see on that deep out, and there's the real test as Barry Wilburn covers, the real test of the strength of arm of quarterbacks. Marinovich isn't going to burn you with his high-powered arm. He's not a Schrader arm. He's got to be there quickly with it and perhaps anticipate the move, release the ball quicker on the cut.
Excellent point. Obviously, from the far side hash mark to the near sideline is the longest throw you're going to have in the NFL.
On 2nd and 10. Wide open with Steve Smith, the fullback, and he's across the 20 to the 23. That'll bring up 3rd and short. Clay Matthews and Wilburn make the stop.
Oh, I'm not sure I'd credit Wilburn with the stop. He may have slowed Smith down, but he kind of got the best of Mr. 47 here. Wilburn is replacing Randy Hilliard. Watch Smith. Boom. That's, well, all right. We'll give him some credit, yeah. But he doesn't want to do it again today, Dick.
Now the phone is still ringing. 3rd down. About 2.5. Marinovich again in trouble, and down goes the fumbles, and the Browns have recovered at the 8-yard line. The blindside tackle, and Archell sees the turnover. David Brandon, who had a touchdown on the fumble Monday night against Miami, recovers.
Dick, the Raiders have fumbled the ball 6 times in 1992, lost all 6. Browns come with an all-out blitz. Brandon from the backside. Marinovich does not take care of the football. The recovery appears to be Rob Burnett, number 90. Again, the Browns. Excellent, outstanding, wonderful field position. Big sack by Brandon.
So Brandon forces the fumble, and Burnett recovers inside the 10-yard line. It'll be at the 9. Well, that was a prophetic graphic that we used just a couple of plays before, showing the fumble problems, the turnover problems of the Raiders. And meanwhile, under Bill Belichick, who was the brain trust behind that New York Giant defense, last year Cleveland led the AFC with a +15 in the turnover takeover department. They have 2 already in the first quarter. Metcalf taking his way to about the 6-yard line. Plenty of black jerseys. Aaron Wallace from Texas A&M, one of those.
You know, Dick, I can't hold off on this comment anymore. There was the accusation in Cleveland that Marinovich starts this game because the Raiders were not taking the Cleveland Browns very seriously. It may have added some inspiration to the Cleveland Browns because all of the hitting we've seen to this point in the football game has come in that orange helmet.
There was a report out of Los Angeles that the Raiders had penned in this game to start Marinovich at home against a weaker, or maybe the weakest opponent, and that was read by the Cleveland players. Metcalf has another touchdown. And you hear a lot of noise for Cleveland here. There's somewhere between 3,000 and 5,000 Cleveland fans. There's a big booster group in Southern California, and they've had reason to be heard. 13-0.
You know, when this play first started, Dick, it did not appear it was going to work. You see the people outside, and then an excellent block by Leroy Horde, 44 on, or Tommy Vardell on his like number. David Waymer really captures the corner for Eric Metcalf.
So 2 turnovers, 2 touchdowns. Bad snap, but Stover sends it through. And with 6 minutes, 13 seconds left in the opening period in L.A., the Raiders are down by 14.
13 seconds.
100 degrees down on the floor of this historic arena. The Cleveland Browns kicking off again with a 14-0 lead. A stunning start in Los Angeles. 2 turnovers, 6 plays for Cleveland, 23 yards, 14 points. Here's 7 of them.
Watch what happens. Mark Bavaro, a nice hook block here, and the effect it has on Eddie Anderson eventually. You already saw the block by Tommy Vardell, 44. Watch the corner captured along with the block by Mark Bavaro. See what he does to the Eddie Anderson, the free safety? He in effect blocks 2 guys. Anthony Bell, 59, and Eddie Anderson, 33. 1, 2, 3, 6. He's in for another score.
There's the veteran Bavaro. Gale Gardner will have an interesting halftime feature with Bavaro. You don't corral him easily. He's not a talker. Let's see. Gale Gardner, if anyone, will get him to share some of his thoughts as he was released by the New York Giants.
The strong, silent type.
It's tough to get him to say hello in the morning. Couple of Super Bowl rings, and Bill Belichick, who admired Bavaro, who wouldn't. His play in New York, acquiring him for this season as Marinovich, some of his play help on his wrist. 2nd down and 6. Dickerson again. Well, how about Eric Dickerson? They say here's a man who's never had a knee injury, never been operated upon. Dickerson now is in his 10th season. He's had he stayed in Los Angeles with the Rams, many felt this man would have surpassed Walter Payton's yardage mark. He's about to be the number 2 and pass Tony Dorsett, but doesn't seem to have the pop, does he?
No. One of the things that it was always, I thought, characteristic of Eric Dickerson is he used to sit very deep in the offense, sometimes 8 yards. And the acceleration at the snap of the ball to the line of scrimmage was extraordinary. He doesn't seem to have that instant acceleration like he used to.
3rd down 4. Marcus Allen. Many here in Los Angeles feel that Allen should be playing more. He was instrumental in the comeback at Cincinnati that forced the overtime last Sunday. Marinovich to the sidelines, complete. That should be good enough for the... No, they say Grady did not maintain possession, and the Browns have held again.
Well, now the Raiders are in trouble. I mean, they got a new quarterback. They're not impressing the Cleveland Browns at all with their running game. They've played very poor field position, made the big mistakes to start the football game. Nothing good has happened to the Raiders yet.
A lot has happened that's good for Eric Metcalf, who drifts back to return the punt at his 30-yard line. He already has 2 touchdowns in the quarter and well documented his ability on kick returns. Has a couple of kickoffs for touchdowns in his 3 years with the Browns. Gossett handles this snap, sends his kick on the way to Metcalf at the 27. And the Raiders out and finally drop him at the 28-yard line. A 47-yard kick, 2 yards on the return, 4:26 left in the opening quarter.
So I stop at the car wash on my way to this big appointment. And you wouldn't believe it, but somehow my keys get locked inside my Cutlass Supreme. So I called the Oldsmobile Edge. They sent someone out, said they'd pick up the tab, and in no time I'm in my car and...
Just win, baby. The commitment to excellence, the theme of Al Davis since he took over this franchise as the coach back in the 60s. He was only 33 years old at the time. One of the dominant men in football, a Hall of Famer now. Long overdue. Finally went into the Canton Shrine this year. Cannot be happy about that 14-0 deficit as the Browns now take over. 28-yard line. Brooks and Vardell behind Philcox. Philcox may be changing his play. And gives to Brooks, the veteran acquired from Cincinnati by way of the Plan B program, out to the 29, short yardage.
One of the big keys to this Raider defense is this guy right here, Greg Townsend. Every part of the defense that the Raiders have is set for him to make sacks and make plays. Watch him crash down inside. Bardell tries to get him. They also pull Ed King 68. They can't make a solid lick on Townsend. He's there to kind of mess up the play a little bit.
Townsend, who reported at 290 pounds as he held out, says he's lost about 13 pounds. The top sacker for the Raiders last year with 13. Second and 9. Fake the Horde, the throw for Michael Jackson, and no flag at the 45 of the Raiders. Terry McDaniel on the coverage.
That was excellent coverage, too. One of the problems young quarterbacks have, Dick, is not being able to look at secondary and third receivers. And Philcox goes back, is man-on-man coverage, outside and inside, and he's locked on to Jackson. Now, accompanying this play is also an outlet receiver out here in the flat. What he should do is say, he's covered, throw to the outlet. That's part of the inexperience of a Todd Philcox.
Well, prior to this game, Philcox has only 4 completions in 10 attempts in the NFL. No touchdowns, 2 interceptions. He's got himself a touchdown here in the first quarter. 3rd and 9, and apparently a flag and whistles had sounded no play as Anthony Smith, 94, there to rip Philcox's jersey off. This young player is going to be a
Ball
star.
start. Number 66 on the offense prior to the snap. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
Bernie Kukar, the referee today. Tony Jones ticketed with a 5.
This is the down and yardage now that Belichick told us last night he doesn't like for Todd Philcox. 3rd and long. You don't want to put this young kid in this many spots, or this spot many times.
Out of the shotgun. Triple right in the handoff. Leroy Horde, and nothing but Raiders around the ball at the 21-yard line. Another loss. So the defense of the Raiders perhaps inspiring this crowd, and maybe the offense.
The one guy that Belichick worried about was Howie Long. He does penetrate here. And you see everybody blocking down. This is like a college sweep, student body right. And he's in there to mess everything up. Throw Horde for a loss.
Tim Brown back at the 35 of the Raiders as Brian Hansen punts it for Cleveland. Wobbler, Brown at the 43. 50. And slips down at the Cleveland 46. So Marinovich will have good field position this time on a 10-yard return of a 36-yard punt. See him, like his son Todd, Marv Marinovich, played at Southern California, played in the NFL with the Los Angeles Raiders. Conditioning coach conditioned the Raiders and his son. And perhaps from day one, Todd Marinovich The design was NFL quarterback.
There was a story that until he got to college at USC, he had not tasted any fast food.
I bet he did sneak out a time or two. Had a hamburger. Eric Dickerson to the 41-yard line. That's an interesting look there from the Raider offense, sending Dickerson in motion and taking the toss.
We saw that yesterday at practice. He just doesn't appear to have the acceleration. You see Dickerson, he'll start in motion to try to get a little bit of momentum, I guess, and the snap of the ball, but he just doesn't have the acceleration. I remember something John Robinson used to say about Eric Dickerson. Such a fluid athlete, when he ran, he made no noise, so he never appeared to run hard in front of John Robinson. Robinson knew he was wrong after about the first 3 games.
On second down. The pass a little short, but Smith makes the catch, a tough catch when you're looking back at the quarterback and have to reach down, but it's enough for the first down. Brandon and Taylor, the tacklers.
So far, we've seen an awful lot of the underneath stuff from the Los Angeles Raiders. The one roll and long reasonably long reception by Ethan Horton. Schrader doing what he can for the football team. He's taken this demotion beautifully. When told by Art Shell, he certainly sounded like the team player. Hey, we got to win.
The irony of it all, 380 yards was the most a Raider passer had ever accumulated on the road, and then he's benched. Third
screen
all time. The screen, and it should work with Dickerson. Plenty of blockers. 30, 25. He's to the 18.
Set up very well. There's the primary receiver. Now watch the way the defensive linemen are released inside. Mosbar 72. 76 Wisniewski out in front. Excellent block by Mosbar on Clay Matthews, although Matthews keeps his feet. And again, age gets everybody, but 6 years ago, Eric Dickerson is a blur up that field.
David Brandon made the tackle at the 18. 14-0. Cleveland leads with a half-minute remaining in the opening quarter. Marinovich is caught from behind and dragged down by James Jones. The roll by Marinovich, and Jones has his first sack of the year as Wisniewski just could not fight off Jones on the block.
That time Marinovich rolled to the power. Here's the man who makes the sack. Something happened here. I don't know what's going on, but you see everybody surprised. I'm not so sure that Marinovich did roll the wrong way. You could see 76 Wisniewski was not prepared for Jones to be there right in his face.
Minus 12 on the play. So second down and 22 as Jones taken out, and Bill Belichick brings in some pass defenders. And that is the end of the opening quarter that featured 2 Raider turnovers, 2 Cleveland touchdowns.
How much insulation do you have in your attic? 3 inches? 6 inches? Well, the Department of Energy recommends R38 for most American homes, which is equivalent to a foot of Owens Corning pink fiberglass. So grab a ruler and measure your attic insulation. Then get rolling. And get a foothold on your energy bills. For more information, call 1-800-GET-PINK.
With Ryder's 24-hour number, not only can you get everything you need to make your move easier.
Does Route 60 run through Phoenix? Thanks.
But you can call us with any other questions you have along the way. Oh, and if you rent a truck by November 7th, you get a free Domino's pizza delivered right to your new home.
A reminder from Walmart. No matter who you are, no matter what you drive, there's one sure way to get more out of it. Regular oil changes with quality Haviland motor oil. When you add Haviland, you add more life to your car. And with Walmart savings every day of the year, you're not only miles ahead, you're dollars ahead too. Saving money at Walmart. It's an idea that's really catching on. Walmart. Always the low price. Always.
2 touchdowns by Eric Metcalf, one on a 4-yard pass from Todd Philcox, another a 6-yard run, both after turnovers by the Raiders deep in their own end have given the Browns a 14-0 lead. We open the second quarter. Terry Rubisky, the offensive coordinator, talking to Marinovich. This is Dick Enberg with Bob Trumpy at the Coliseum. One of these teams, unless we have a rare tie, will come out of this game 0-3. The Raiders have lost 6 in a row. The Browns have never had 3 consecutive losing seasons in their storied career. Bill Belichick, we saw him yesterday, talk with him. He looked like somebody had just worked him over for about 45 rounds.
Awful. Sleepless nights for the head coach.
And he's a hard worker anyway. Inside handoff to Marcus Allen, breaking a tackle, getting outside and then pushed out of bounds. And almost could be a penalty thrown there as the contact continued from Barry Wilburn.
And one of the things offenses and defenses do with personnel, they try to trick the other side. And Marcus Allen has been primarily a receiver for the Los Angeles Raiders. He's in the backfield. Cleveland looks for the pass. They give the ball to Marcus Allen. I still consider one of the game's great carriers, even at his advanced age. And there are a lot of people out here wondering exactly why he's not playing more, here being Los Angeles.
Now the all-time Raider rusher, 8,200 plus yards. He scored a total of 96 touchdowns, 78 of those rushing. Only 4 from that elite group that have scored 100 times in the league. 3rd and long. Good protection. Marinovich going to scramble. 15, and he's down at the 12-yard line. That'll be short of the first down. But the fans applaud the effort. 11 yards on the play.
Well, Marinovich probably did that yesterday afternoon off of Newport Beach. Told us he was going surfing, paddling out. He's going to dive underneath those waves. Nothing to it.
You sound like you've done it yourself.
Only on a boogie board. I loved his comment. When they named him the starting quarterback, the press said something to him, how do you feel? And he says, I'm stoked.
He and his dudes are going to try a field goal from the 20, a 30-yard attempt. Actually, just inside the 20, so Jaeger kicks it through. Oh, no, he misses to the right. Jeff Jaeger, a relatively simple field goal attempt. That's his 4th miss in 3 games. He missed only 5 all last year when he set a Raider record 29 out of 34.
Snap looks good. Hold looks good. Hits the upright. Yes, this game is taking place in the Coliseum. That is the home field of the Los Angeles Raiders, but they have not had the ball bounce their way yet.
See the Pro Bowl punter Jeff Gossett, each not happy. Gossett a fumble on an attempted punt that led to a Cleveland touchdown, and Jaeger missing a 29-yard field goal, hitting the right upright. Cleveland 14, Raiders nothing from the 20. It's Bill Cox to Vardell, no gain. Smothered by Andre Bruce, the former number 1 player picked in '88 by Atlanta, and Greg Townsend.
I love Vardell, talking to him yesterday. Former, actually this year named the GTE Academic All-American Athlete.
All the sports. So
yeah. He could not believe that he is playing professional football for a living. Just can't fathom
what
that.
He said, I thought I'd sleep till 12.
Yes.
Get up, go work out from 1 to 3:30, and then have my nights off. I didn't realize this was 8 to 5, and I had to what? He's the donut man.
He's the donut man. First-round draft choices are donut men.
On 2nd and 10. Bill Cox going long. Only Eddie Anderson's back there of the Raiders. It'll be 3rd and 10. What do you mean by donut man?
Well, one of the things that veterans do to the top draft choice, I mean, they sign for millions and hundreds of millions of dollars, is they try to bring the guy down to earth. So generally what they do is they make Touchdown Tommy, or whoever the first-round draft choice on the team is, be subservient to the veterans on the team. The Browns' choice is he must buy all of the running backs and quarterbacks donuts.
Every morning.
Every morning. He gets up at 6:30. And they've not made it easy for the young man, Dick. They've not made it easy for him.
Bill Cox now 2 for 4 for 10 yards and a touchdown. Looks at 3rd and 10 into the teeth of a good pass rush. Throws to Metcalf. Diving for the 30, trying to get the first down, but he's out of bounds shy of the 29. It'll be 4th and 1. Torn Dorn made the play.
Interesting play call here. There are a lot of teams in the NFL that are using this thing called a cluster pattern. And what they do is they get 3 or 4 receivers sitting right next to each other, and they try to scrape off defenders. Metcalf that time came underneath all the defenders, just couldn't quite pick up the needed yardage for the first down.
So Brian Hansen, who kicked for the Cougars at Sioux Falls, an NAIA school, to Notre Dame's Heisman winner Tim Brown. A dime spiral. Brown at the fumbles the ball, muffs it, and it's batted out of bounds. I believe it'll stay with the Raiders. Never possession of the Browns, and there's a flag down. It may have been illegally batted out of bounds, but the Raiders would take that penalty to keep possession. It looked to be 52 Mike Jones who swatted it away from the Cleveland Browns. But in essence, a very heady play by the second-year man Jones from Missouri, who was a fullback made into a linebacker by the Raiders. There he is. A 34-yard punt. Brown, a risky return, and couldn't get the handle. Kukar.
Illegal man downfield, holding against the defense. Kick it over again.
No batting of the ball after all.
Looks like the Raiders are using the visiting football today. It's not.
Ineligible man downfield on the kicking team. Holding on the receiving team. The penalty's offset. Fourth down.
But this favors the receiving team. The coverage team has to run another 40 yards as hard as they can. So this looks like it might be set up now for Tim Brown.
And the Raiders escaping another grievous error. And that should have really punished them again. They're already down 14-0 on 2 turnovers.
The team is playing like a team. 0-2, the Raiders.
This is a much better kick by Hansen, driving Brown back to his 20-yard line. Ooh, knifed down at the 20, and flags go with it. Same man, Mike Jones, right there for Cleveland. A 52-yard punt, 2 yards on the return for Brown.
Looks like it's an illegal block in the back, too. Isn't it always on a punt? You know why that happens?
We have an illegal block in the back. Number 52 on the receiving team on the run back. 10-yard penalty. First down.
Dick, once the ball is off the punter's foot, all 7 officials have one thing to look for: the illegal blocks in the back. Every official, it's the only play in the game where they're all looking for the same thing. I don't know why they tried, and that's an obvious one.
Right where the ball is.
Yeah, I mean, that's not disguised a bit.
Richard Brown, 52 of the Cleveland Browns, in on the tackle, and 52 of the Raiders. Mike Jones with a penalty that sets Marinovich at his 10-yard line on this possession. Browns leading 14-0, 12 minutes left in the half. All clear. Marinovich down the middle. Clay Matthews, the veteran playing in his 203rd game, has the interception at the 16-yard line.
One of the things young quarterbacks have to learn is you have to look off defenders. You watch 12, you see Clay Matthews sitting right here. He's the guy who comes up with the interception. Let's see where Marinovich is looking. Looking right where he's going to throw it. He does look off a little bit. Who's he throwing it to? Looked like Ethan Horton was the intended receiver, 88 deep. Clay Matthews, a good drop.
Of him.
Watch Matthews. See if he's looking outside. He's looking at the quarterback. Boy, Matthews is open. There's no question about that. Marinovich throws it right to him.
Clay Matthews, who has been a brilliant defender in his 15 years, a record for the Cleveland Browns, the first to ever play 15 consecutive years in that Cleveland uniform. Groza played more, but not consecutively. Did they get it off? Just did. Phil Cox. Ooh, he threw it in the crowd. Well covered with Sean Collins. Aaron Wallace looking for the pick himself. Clay Matthews, perhaps reserving his place in Canton, Ohio in the Pro Football Hall of Fame with his brilliant career. 203 games is the second most. He's tied with Doug Deacon for second all-time. If he plays every game this year, he'll tie Lou Groza's 216 all-time. Look at the tackle, 63 sacks. Just made his 14th interception. 4 blocked field goals 5 times in the Pro Bowl. Wilcox play action, throws to the tight end, and Pete Holohan has short yardage. Anthony Bell, the tackler. Michael Jackson and Sean Collins come in.
I was about to say, you can see the situation substitutions that the Cleveland Browns and the Los Angeles Raiders use. Wilcox, the signals are brought in, the plays are brought in with a player, and you can see how I said the Raiders are playing with the visiting team's ball.
Yep.
Browns are owning it.
Browns have had drives that started at the LA 14, the LA 9, and now the LA 16. 3rd and 7.
There's a cluster at the bottom of the screen here. Watch for somebody to scrape off.
Oops, that's going to be illegal motion against the Browns. They didn't snap the ball, and the goal line had pulled back.
That was rather obvious, too. New quarterback.
And a new center.
That happens.
Jay Hilgenberg now over the
ball. False start on the offense. Practically the entire line. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
Right you are, Bernie.
Yes, sir.
The Ben Dreith Award for 1992 to Bernie Kokar.
Right.
What was it? Dreith down there giving him the business.
Giving him the business.
3rd and 12. Left in the half. The Browns. 3rd and long. Wilcox down the middle. Oh, what a catch by Sean Collins for a touchdown. Oh, my.
His first catch as a Cleveland Brown goes for a score, but there is a flag, Dick.
We'll see if it counts, and it may be holding against Cleveland. Yes, listen to the crowd as Collins paying the price for that brilliant effort for nothing.
So is Lionel Washington still down.
2 men blanketing Collins, and somehow he was able to rip the ball away from the Raiders.
Was shaken up on the play for the Raiders. With holding, number 68 on the offense, 10-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
Ed King guilty of the hold. Here's the catch.
This is an unbelievable catch. Collins, formerly the Atlanta.
Eddie Anderson.
Of the Atlanta Falcons. One of the things the Browns liked about him, his size. He's a big kid, can make the tough catch. He wasn't small enough, quick enough, and fast enough. There's the holding right there on Ed King. He wasn't small enough and quick enough to suit Jerry Glanville in the run and shoot offense. There's the penalty flag. A great catch negated by the holding. Wilcox does a good job here, although he's certainly throwing it in a tough spot, but Collins goes up and makes the catch.
Eddie Anderson coming over, able to get the hit that really applied the pain to Collins.
Receivers generally don't like to be up in the air, strung out by quarterbacks anywhere on the football field, and especially when you're down on the goal line.
Collins helped off on the far side, and on the near side they help off Lionel Washington, who was part of the coverage. So Eddie Anderson got both of them. Appears to be the left knee that Lionel Washington is favoring, and Collins seems to be okay. What a catch. There's so many terrific receivers down there in Atlanta. Collins, a #1 pick by the Falcons, and remember, he had a terrific rookie year in '89. He caught 58 passes, most by any rookie receiver in '58. But then he fell out of favor with Jerry Glanville.
He did not fall out of favor with the management of the Atlanta Falcons. Ken Herrock, their general manager, loves Sean Collins. Said, I don't want to get rid of this kid. He's going to come back and hurt us someday.
Sam Seal has replaced Washington, and the Browns working their way out of field goal range. Wilcox to the sidelines, way over the head of Michael Jackson, and now it'll be a long field goal attempt for Matt Stover when it was a pretty easy shot earlier. So a couple of penalties, movement and holding, negate a touchdown for Bill Belichick. He said, boy, there are a lot of things. He said, it's frustrating when you lose, but when there are things that are happening that are out of your control, he said, I want to reach out and grab those, but hey, there's injuries, and some of those will be coming back in 4 weeks. 3 key players will return. Here's Stover, who will try a 45-yard field goal. High snap, and the kick is going to hook wide to the left. So the interception by Marinovich does not pay another dividend for Cleveland. It remains 14-0.
High snap. Actually, a good job to get that ball down so that Stover has a chance to kick it, but he does hook it just left.
Cleveland Browns fans, 14-0. Raiders take over after the field goal, and there's contact before the snap. Rob Burnett, number 90, charging into the Raider offensive line. It'll be 1st and 5. Meanwhile, in that
We have encroachment. Number 90 on the defense prior to the snap. Still first down after 5-yard penalty.
For the Raiders, here are the first half possessions for Los Angeles. Fumble, punt, missed field goal, and interception.
No wonder they're 0-2. They're certainly playing like it today.
Smith and Bell behind Marinovich. Nick Bell, big guy from Iowa, and wasn't able to get the full speed going into the line on that carry.
And Dick, I'm going to repeat this. The Raiders have historically been an intimidating football team. You can't intimidate a team without running the ball. Nick Bell being inserted into the lineup at 6'3", 250 pounds is an attempt to slam the ball at the line of scrimmage, take some steam out of the Cleveland Browns. In the last 2 years, this team has not really intimidated anybody with that running game. Not since Jackson's been gone.
Even though they run more than any team. They've only passed 750 times the last 2 years. By far the least number of passes in the league.
But there's
out to Bell. And it's a first down at the 45.
To answer your question about the running game as we watch the replay,
Terry Taylor, the veteran cornerback, down.
They do not throw to running backs out of the backfield very much unless it's Marcus Allen, but they got their two big fullbacks, Smith and Bell, in there. Marinovich finds him open, and then Terry Taylor really gets nailed by that big body, 250 pounds. I'll answer your question in a minute.
Timeout. 9:56 left in the half. Terry Taylor working that right shoulder after the hit on Bell. Randy Hilliard, 39, replacing him at the corner. First down, Raiders. Marinovich flushed out of the pocket. Chased by Burnett. Finds an open man, Tim Brown. He's out of bounds for the first down at the Cleveland 44-yard line. Back to your point on the Raiders' intimidation by run.
Bo Jackson. It used to be when you played the Los Angeles Raiders, the first thing your defensive coordinator did every week is say, we got to stop this running back. He is the key to the game. When you've got a great running back like Bo Jackson, like Marcus Allen several years ago, you get 7 guys to the line of scrimmage thinking first run, and it allows the offensive lineman to beat your defensive lineman to a pulp. It doesn't happen anymore with the Los Angeles Raiders.
On first down with flags down, Bell into the 39-yard line, and let's check the penalty.
They are hoping Nick Bell is that next guy. The threat every time he carries the ball at 6'3", 250.
With sprinter speed, it's against the Browns.
Offside. Number 75 on the defense. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
Pio Sangapulatelli from San Diego State. You got to be a big guy with a name like that.
Yes,
so
sir.
you be sure all the letters get on. Raiders 81 yards. Not that impressive. Cleveland only 34 yards. If you're just tuning in, you'd figure the Raiders are ahead or it's scoreless. Nope, 14-0 Cleveland on a couple of turnovers. Marinovich first and 5. Ball Bay to throw. And it's to Tim Brown, incomplete. He was juggling as he went out of bounds.
Taylor is back in the ball game. Nice single coverage. Nice job by Tim Brown coming back at the football. This is zone coverage. You can see Taylor looking in at the quarterback. Brown slips. Ball takes a while to get there. Never has control of it. Excellent call. Second and a few. 5.
Terry Taylor, former #1 pick of the Seahawks. 84 out of Southern Illinois. split behind Marinovich. Underneath the bell again. Hit, but not until another first down for the Raiders at the 33-yard line. Mike Johnson and Vince Newsom collaborating on the hit.
Interesting choice here by the Raiders. They have their two biggest running backs, Steve Smith, Nick Bell, in the backfield, and then throwing underneath to them.
Here's just to support your theory on the Raiders of Art Shell. All 7 first downs in this half by the Raiders by pass.
Wow, didn't used to be that way, did it?
Greg Skrepenek, the second-round pick from Michigan, in the offensive line now for the Raiders. They reverse to Brown, and he's dragged down just shy of the 30. Mike Johnson, the 2-time Pro Bowler from Virginia Tech, read it well.
Boy, is this kid a player.
So smart.
He was an academic All-American at Virginia Tech. Yesterday, before he talked to us, he had a little extra time. So in waiting, it seemed to me he was kind of designing what he wants running backs to look like for the opponents. No. When he hits him, he wants them to see the world like this. He can do it, too.
Designs and makes his own furniture, and he's the spelling bee champion of the Cleveland Browns as they work on Rob Burnett. Reminder, tomorrow night, NBC's premiere week continues with an all-new episode of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and Blossom, followed by an NBC world premiere movie based on the true story. Carolyn Sapp, Miss America 1992, stars in her own remarkable story, Miss America Behind the Crown. That's tomorrow night on NBC. And to look ahead a week from today, a doubleheader here on NBC begins at 12:30 Eastern with NFL Live. There's the lineup, Denver and Cleveland. A lot of history associated with that matchup, and Buffalo, New England.
Oh, man, I like both those games right there. Denver, Cleveland. Of course, Elway has Elwayed Cleveland a lot. New England beat Buffalo last year.
Pittsburgh, Green Bay late. We'll be at Anaheim Stadium to see the Jets looking for their first win after an 0-3 start against the Los Angeles Rams. Miami and Seattle also a late game. Rob Burnett to the sidelines. Appears to be okay. Steve Wisniewski back in. Skrepenek in for a play. 2nd and 8. 14-0. Cleveland leads. Approaching the 7-minute mark of this first half. And another whistle. Right guard.
False start on the offense to right guard prior to the snap. 5-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
You read the lips of the linesman Todd Pete, who's in there for the veteran Max Montoya. Montoya injured, will be out from 4 to 6 weeks with a knee. They don't want to operate. He wants to just use exercise. There's Montoya, the 14-year veteran, played at UCLA and, of course, with the Cincinnati Bengals.
One of the NFL's greatest pulling guards. For his size, man, could he lead a sweep.
Anthony Munoz and Montoya with the Bengals, or rivals, USC, UCLA. What a formation for the Bengals. Marinovich just does get himself out of trouble. No one open, and he eats it, and the ball was free there a couple of times. Juggled, and then as the tackle's made at the 35, Richard Brown, extra linebacker, 52 in on the play. Brown from San Diego State already made a big hit on special teams.
Nice coverage by the Browns. Marinovich had nobody to throw the ball to, and he made the right choice. Except I'd like to see him tuck that ball in a little better, protect it a little more.
It's a sack, the 2nd for Cleveland today, and brings up 3rd down, making 3 sacks for the Browns. There's Marinovich's numbers, 3rd and 12. Marcus Allen on 3rd down in the backfield. Gets away, but flags are flying, and Marinovich struggles and finally looking for Marcus Allen, unable to get it there. And one suspects there was some holding going on in the Raider backfield.
Suspects, yes. Stevan Moore finally got to the quarterback. He just saw Mike Johnson run up to the referee and say, if we take the players at 4th down. See what choice they've made here.
Holding, number 76 on the offense. Penalty declined. 4th down.
Pro Bowler the last 2 years, Steve Wisniewski. It is a shame that we only show linemen when they're involved in a penalty. And here's a terrific young player from Penn State. You don't see all the good things they do.
You're right. Back to his offensive line coach, Kim Helton, was at one time at Houston. He says when you look at Houston and you look at Bruce Matthews when he played guard, and then moving here with Wisniewski and Montoya, he said, I've had the great fortune throughout my coaching career to coach 3 of the best offensive guards in the history of the NFL.
Jager's 53-yarder last year against San Diego, a career high. He's trying to match it out of the hold of Gossett. It's blocked. And another failure by the special teams of the Los Angeles Raiders. Cleveland will take over at their own 46-yard line. It appeared to be Rob Burnett got a hand on it.
Well, what's Art's next idea? Changing quarterbacks has not inspired the Los Angeles Raiders to this point. All 11 are coming. It doesn't appear to take too long. It looks like he's going to hook it badly. I mean, miserably to the left. The guy who blocks it comes from the outside. Is that Terry Taylor? No, it's a man up front. Rob Burnett, 90, gets his hand on it.
Able to hang on at the 18-yard line.
So close.
Ronnie Lott on the coverage. Jackson from Southern Mississippi, who leads the Browns with 8 catches.
Doesn't look like there's going to be anything special on this coverage. It's just Michael Jackson straight down the field. We wonder where Ronnie Lott was. Here's Lott. He's a little late getting back. But really, Michael Jackson just a little hitch and go. Wilcox waits on him. Lott does get over there, but he's supposed to cut down that reception. Can't quite get there in time, but just a little overthrown.
3rd and 7.
Here's the cluster at bottom of the screen.
Wilcox just does get it away. Incomplete. Intended for the tight end Houlihan. Now the Browns, who have not moved the ball against the Raider defense, but have taken advantage of a couple of turnovers deep in Raider territory for the 14-0 lead, will have to punt it away. Brian Hansen in once again, and Tim Brown will drift back to his 10-yard line to receive for the Raiders. And well into it for the touchback. 51 yards, but 31 net for Hansen. Now the Raiders with 4.5 minutes remaining in this first half will try to get on the scoreboard, as we remind you that on Tuesday night a special 2-hour season premiere on NBC of Quantum Leap, a powerful movie with a surprise ending. And on the all-new Dateline, an exclusive interview with Garth Brooks as he calling it quits. Dateline NBC with Jane Pauley, Stone Phillips, Tuesday night.
Tell me it's not true. Garth Brooks is not going to quit the country western business. Tell me it can't be true.
I don't know. You're a pretty big guy to cry. I know that.
I love to hear Steele cry, too.
Well, I would think that this is about as big a series for young Marinovich and for the Raiders as we'll find in this game, as they're down 14-0. A touchdown here before the half, and it would just paint a whole different picture for Los Angeles in this game. Marinovich, unbothered, finally releases, and it's almost intercepted at the 30 as Sam Grady takes it away from Randy Hilliard. Hilliard right on it.
Yeah, Dick, I was going to say the bad news is the Raiders are down 14-0. That's also the good news. They could have been down a lot more. And again, watch Marinovich. Kind of a half-hearted fake to Steve Smith. Boy, he is staring right at receivers over there on the left-hand side of the field. Certainly helps the defenders to know where to be. Grady makes an excellent catch for a first down, but this offense looks like it's in slow motion, Dick.
Here comes Bell. He's to the 35-yard line, a pickup of 4. Brandon and others on the tackle.
And I still don't believe with 3:46 to go in this first half, the Raiders have a first down rushing. I think they're still all
through the air. They are.
That hasn't happened many times in the history of the Los Angeles Raiders, but it's a direct link to their problems.
Well, Eric Dickerson didn't get the job done. Marcus Allen hasn't been given much of an opportunity. He's had contract problems with the Raiders and Al Davis for the last few years, and not in the doghouse, but he is out in the backyard. In fact, he's been such a good trade, but boy, that ball just getting there in time as a flag goes down, a late flag. That usually means a tight end holding.
Hey, be kind now.
Tim Brown made the catch. Against Los Angeles. Illegal use of the hands.
You know, I'm wondering if the change.
Offensive pass interference, number 87, blocking downfield, 10-yard penalty, still second down.
Andrew Glover, and what's his position?
Plays tight end. Plays tight end.
That's a way. Come right out and admit it. At the 25, it'll be the 10-yard penalty. Here's Glover.
He's on Brandon. This was purely accidental, I'm sure. It was not intentional.
9th penalty today. The Raiders led the league again last year in penalties and penalty yards. Marinovich into the flat to Smith. Blocked at the 35, and he's able to fall forward to the 37-yard line. Not enough for the first down. We'll bring up third and about 4.
Dick, I was going to make the point that the change of quarterback, certainly in the minds of a lot of people, settled the Raiders players on the right side. They like Marinovich. But I'm wondering also if all the attention paid to Todd Marinovich has distracted this Los Angeles Raider team. Now, I say that and know that this is one of the most experienced teams in the NFL. Something is not right here for the Raiders.
They're the oldest team in the NFL. That is for certain. Modest numbers by Marinovich. 3rd and 4. Down the middle. And Tim Brown, who apparently is his top target, has a first down at the 46 of Cleveland. 17 on that play.
But if that ball is thrown chest high to Tim Brown, he's still running. He is on the inside. Wilburn 47 in coverage. Nice move. Watch what Brown has to do to catch it. If he catches it upstairs, he is still running.
A 2-minute warning.
Wouldn't it be great if you could afford a luxury?
Building for the future. They're a team of now the oldest in the league. 19 players 30 or older. Experience over 6. Most in the NFL. It's not the silver and black. It's the silver and gray that we're seeing in 1992.
You are absolutely right.
There was a theory, the late George Allen, and when he was the coach of the Rams, he really wanted old players, and there was a correlation between the oldest teams being the playoffs teams. That doesn't work out quite as well in the last 5 years or so.
There certainly is a law of diminishing returns for any person in this league at a certain age. You can't do the things you could do 2 or 3 years ago, and the end comes quickly.
But they have the youngest quarterback in the league network in Marinovich. Good move by Graham. He's not just a track star anymore. He's become a real receiver. It's been a project for Los Angeles, but the Raiders now have a speedster who can play wide receiver.
You can see Hilliard is playing the prevent. This is zone. Grady with an excellent move. Great acceleration. Nice 10-yard pickup. This is a well-orchestrated drive, but the Browns are helping here. They're kind of in their prevent mode.
Minute and a half to go. Marcus Allen searching for a hole and then ducking in at the 21. James Jones with a tackle. Raiders are going to spend a timeout with 1:23 left in the half. That is their first timeout taken here in the 30 minutes of this first half. As Art Shell now at the 22-yard line. Dana Delaney and Martin Mull. A couple of Cleveland Browns fans, Tim Conway and others. There's quite a legion of Cleveland fans in Hollywood. Martin Mull, in fact, there was rumors he was going to go out and get the kicking tee. I don't know if we've had that confirmed as yet.
I don't know that we have that much time for Martin Mull to run out there and get the kicking tee and bring it back.
Well, and it's tough to do here in Raider country because they've got Run, the former roller derby star who does that work here in Los Angeles. There's Martin Mull. He's dressed for the part. He's actually tried some field goals and extra points, gone out to Cleveland practices.
He'll never be mistaken for a professional football player, though.
Well, we'll check his action. Maybe he indeed will. See, the Browns, no, they don't kick off to start the second half. It'll be the Raiders kicking off. Well, we'll keep an eye. Meanwhile, the Raiders looking for something on the board, trailing 14-0. Second and 5 for Marinovich. Nice quickly outside, and it'll be another first down as Grady knocked down at the 10-yard line.
Just a simple hitch. Another timeout called by Todd Marinovich. Grady just runs 5 yards down the field, stops. 3-step drop by Todd Marinovich, nothing to it. This is a very high percentage throw. Hilliard is the man in coverage. You can't be any more conservative than the Los Angeles Raiders have been in this drive, taking no chance whatsoever with turning the ball over.
Brady's third catch, halftime. The Domino's Pizza halftime live with Buddy Ryan. His candid comments on the pregame show. He's not afraid to speak his mind. Never has been. He was a terrific addition, I thought. Really enjoyed his comments. I wonder what he has to say at halftime. And Gail Gardner will have a special feature. He always does such a terrific job. And Mark Bavaro, the Cleveland Browns all-pro tight end, former Giant star, is her subject. That's at halftime, so stay with us. Bavaro fairly quiet other than a terrific block on the Metcalf touchdown run early in the game.
Is that Paul McGuire? No, he's not here.
He did win the Paul McGuire lookalike contest, however, in LA. First and goal from the 10. They have the full 10 yards to go. Marcus Allen gets only one. That's that. One timeout left for the Raiders. The clock is running toward the 1-minute mark.
Boy, the Browns come with a big chance here. They come with a double safety blitz. And they catch the Raiders trying to run inside. They call the right defense, and the Raiders run the wrong play.
47 seconds. Marinovich into the end zone. Almost intercepted. That was a jump ball. Randy Hilliard and Sam Grady. And Hilliard, inch taller, almost got the deflection to himself.
Just a little floater. They call these fade patterns, but the receiver never gets his head around. Actually, the defender has a lot better chance of catching the ball than receiver. Grady was falling back, had no chance to get up for that ball.
Third and goal, just inside the 10 with 43 seconds left. 14-0. Cleveland leads. What a big play here for the Raiders.
To drive this distance and have to settle for 3 points.
Again, 71 yards on this drive. That's Mervin Fernandez. On the blitz, Marinovich throws it into an open spot. And lucky that didn't flop into the hands of the enemy.
Again, double safety blitz, Dick. Called perfectly, not picked up by the Raiders. You're going to see them both come. And they get there before Marinovich can set up. He does a great job of getting this ball off to avoid the sack. Excellent call by Nick Saban, defensive coordinator, Cleveland Browns. There he is.
It was Eric Turner, who played here as a collegian as the UCLA Bruin, who got to Marinovich. So the short field goal try by Gossett. This one is 28 yards. Remember, he's missed from 30 and was blocked from 53. Officially, it'll be 27 yards. And the Raiders finally have some points. 34 seconds left in the half. Cleveland 14, Los Angeles 3.
Art Shell not happy. 71 yards they go and have to settle for 3 points. That's Kim Helton on the right, the offensive line coach. Terry Robisky, the offensive coordinator. They're trying to figure out how that double safety blitz was not picked up from behind the offense. You can see what happens. Nobody picks it up. Now this is a real chance for the defense to take. Marcus Allen gets one. Turner scot-free.
Meanwhile, Todd Marinovich, his numbers, his report card doesn't look all that bad. 14 for 22, 156 yards. So he's working on a 300-yard passing day, but has only a field goal to show for it. Well, the Browns looking for their first win. So are the Raiders. And Marinovich and his elder company sit and mull over this first 30 minutes. Not very pretty.
I don't think the 3 points is really going to allow this team to escape the wrath of one Art Shell at halftime.
Jager's kick deep toward the end zone. Randy Baldwin won't risk a return. We'll down it there.
Randy Baldwin.
Well, the other side of the coin, Bob Trumpy, is that Todd Philcox, in his first start with Cleveland, his first NFL start, he is 4 for 10 today. He was 4 for 10 career coming into the game. There's no assurance that the Browns are going to get those possessions, 3 that they've had in this first half, inside the Raider 20-yard line. And the Raider defense certainly has stymied Philcox other than those opportunities and denied him a field goal on that last turnover. In fact, Cleveland has but 37 total yards in the half. It leads by 11.
Yeah, the Raiders have helped Cleveland a whole bunch in this first half.
Surprisingly, Philcox in the shotgun with 34 seconds. The Browns do have 3 timeouts and another penalty.
His chin strap is not fastened. Howie Long is saying, wait a minute, he drew me offside, but Todd Philcox has got to fasten his chin strap. They can call a penalty on him.
Well, the 5 yards won't be for that.
No, it was illegal procedure. But I've seen referees stop the game and say, son, fasten that chin strap, will you?
Correction. False start on number 77 on the offense prior to the snap. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
Freddie Childress, with Howie Long staring him in the eye, moved too quickly.
Yeah, I don't blame him. He's at the top of the screen, and Freddie Childress in there. And because of the problem with Reenstra, Dan Fike, the normal right tackle, moves out. Yeah, I don't blame Freddie Childress for coming out of that stance too quickly. Howie Long certainly took the advantage to get across the line of scrimmage.
First and 15 from the 15. And the handoff for no gain to Leroy Horde. Rose Bowl star for the Michigan Wolverines a couple of years ago in '89. He won the MVP honors, 142 yards over at Pasadena, came out early. Willie Broughton made the tackle for the Raiders, and obviously both teams are content to let this first half come to an end with that play. A half in which
he parked Eric Metcalf.
A loss of 2. It'll be 2nd and 12 for Cleveland. Lionel Washington has a career total of 26 touchdowns, 26 interceptions, a couple for touchdowns, had 5 picks last year, playing the run. Fake to Horde. Philcox. And it's Washington now on pass defense, breaking up the throw to Jamie Holland. Let's go back to the Metcalf catch to get the Browns out of the hole at the 15.
Metcalf is the man going in motion. You see the pass protection. Excellent job by this maligned offensive line. Philcox steps up. I thought the ball was tipped when actually Philcox just kind of
threw a duck,
ladled it out there, and Metcalf made a heck of a catch on that one.
3rd and 12 again. Metcalf with both touchdowns in the game. Underneath to Horde, tackled immediately at the 45. That won't be enough. It'll be 5 yards shy of a first down. Aaron Wallace played his ball at Texas A&M. The Aggies unbeaten this year. Made the stop.
Wallace, an excellent coverage linebacker for the Raiders. Not one of the real big linebackers that the Raiders have, but can cover the back out of the backfield, tight end from the line of scrimmage. Very versatile linebacker for the Raiders.
Look who's back to return the punt. Mervyn Fernandez.
Christian Brown.
The Brown is hurt or just being given rest. Brown did have a little trouble hanging on to the ball the first half. Hanson's punt. Fernandez lets it drop, and it's covered by the Browns, and it's down at the 4-yard line.
Excellent play by Browns special teams.
40-yard punt. Fernandez hoping the ball would go in the end zone. Randy Baldwin is 23, but it's Jamie Holland, the former Raider, inbounds. So it'll be the Raiders starting from their own 4 when we return.
Why did Hertz invent #1 club goal service? To beat the run.
Let me use this telestrator. What is that hanging out? Is that a leg or an arm hanging out of Howie Long's jersey? Wow.
In the NFL, they refer to that as a gun.
From the 4-yard line, trailing 14-3. First possession, second half. And it's on the ground to Steve Smith, the fullback from Penn State. He gets about 3. Tim Brown, a pulled hamstring is the word we get from the Raider bench. We don't know if he can return. That's why Fernandez returning the punt. The Raiders have only 4 wide receivers: Fernandez, Brown, Galt, and Grady, and 10 defensive backs. It's an unusual.
I'm surprised, and in fact, Fernandez is on the sideline here. He's not even one of the receivers. The Raiders are going with 2 tight ends. They got Horton and Andrew Glover in there.
And only Gold in motion as the wide receiver. 2nd and 7. Marinovich from his goal line. Whoa! Dangerously close to Clay Matthews, the wily veteran who has an interception already. Gets his hands on that one. Andrew Glover, the tight end, was the intended receiver. Was that another telegram?
Yes. Again, Dick, when you look from behind Todd Marinovich, I mean, defenses are smart enough to understand that when the quarterback is looking at one spot, you know where he's going. He is staring right where he's going to throw it. You see 87 Glover breaks on top of the linebacker Matthews, a cardinal sin for any receiver. You never break over the top of a defender. You break underneath them. Matthews almost comes up with his 2nd interception of the day.
3rd and 7. Screen to Marcus. Good hit. And Marcus Allen into the open at the 22. Good call. 15 yards. First down.
If you're going to throw the ball extensively and you're the Los Angeles Raiders, Marcus Allen has got to be in the lineup all the time. Now, this is well disguised, but Marcus Allen has unbelievable sight of the field. The peripheral vision he has is remarkable. He can see guys coming from the side. You got to keep him in the game to throw the ball. You just don't tell him when he's going to break one.
1 catch to go with his career 422. On first down, Marinovich to Fernandez. That might be and is another first down out to the 34. 13 first downs for the Raiders. That's their total, all passing.
Fernandez, a big receiver, demoted last week. They put Tim Brown in the lineup because they felt that Tim Brown could make more big plays. Fernandez was offended. Had not really played poorly, but they're trying to shake up this Los Angeles Raider football team.
He led the Raiders with the 57 and the 52 catches. Then last year was number 2 with 46. Good hole for Marcus. Slips and slides, always turning that body, working it to the 39-yard line. Doesn't have quite the sprinter speed that he had coming out of Southern California as a Heisman winner. But boy, is he a smart runner.
Yeah, and several years ago, this was the combination. Steve Smith blocking, Marcus Allen carrying. Watch 35. That's on a defensive lineman of in excess of 300 pounds, Bill Johnson, that Steve Smith puts on the ground there.
Second at about 4.5. Raiders have rushed for 47 yards today, a 2.9 average. Delay to Marcus. First down and more. Still now he steps out of bounds at the 41-yard line of Cleveland. 21 yards.
First rushing first down. Nice little delay. Again, a good lead block by Steve Smith, 35. And the shake and bake by Marcus Allen. Had it for years. Still knows how to use it. This is why they got Steve Smith. Watch what happens. Quarterback comes back. Good lead block by Steve Smith. He gets it on Brandon, 58. Just consumes him enough to get Marcus Allen by him. First rushing first down for the Los Angeles Raiders today.
And Marcus Allen has this crowd alive at the Coliseum. 8 minutes to go in the third. Steve Smith, 15 more for the Raiders.
Boy, they caught him. Browns came with a safety blitz. Steve Smith with just a slight cutback. You're going to see the blitz come from the right. That's 22. That's Turner, 29. Just that little stutter step gets him through the line of scrimmage. Well, now they're running it. Now the Browns have to change defensive philosophy.
First down at the 25-yard line. Smith and Marcus Allen in the backfield. Fake to Marcus. Marinovich looking for something big. Not close. And a wise throw to throw that in the ground is Willie Gault. Behind the defense, Turner and Newsome, but didn't want to take a chance. Eric Turner, he grew up in Ventura, California, to the north of Los Angeles, played at UCLA, played 3 games, in fact, on this turf, and this is his birthday. 24 years young for this star player, #1 pick. He played in high school in the CIF Southern Championships, lost that game, had a tie with SC, and lost to USC, so he's in quest of his first win.
Had to get 40 tickets for his family members out here.
He had to put the limit at 40. He said, and I know there's more here, but I just had to draw the line. On 2nd and 10. Almost intercepted. There was a birthday present. Turner couldn't pull it in.
That was not a good choice by Todd Marinovich. You're going to see once again, watch Todd Marinovich's eyes. He's looking over here. The defense knows he's looking over here. Not set fundamentally correct to throw the football. Looks like it was intended for 88 Ethan Horton. It looks like there's a lot more learning for the young left-hander for the Los Angeles Raiders before he is compared with one Ken Stabler.
He wore that 12 so magnificently in Raider glory years. There are the numbers on the 23-year-old redhead. 3rd and 10. Caught for a touchdown. Willie Gault. Alfred Jackson on the corner went for the interception. The rest was easy for Gault.
Top of the screen. I can't imagine what Jackson, the little hitch and going. Boy, he makes a fundamental mistake. He looks into that backfield, sees the quarterback. That's awfully easy.
A 96-yard drive. Jaeger adds the extra point. 14-10 on the 25-yard touchdown pass. Marinovich has his first of 1992, and the Raiders are only 4 points down.
Although most human beings instinctively join herds, there are those who simply don't look for safety in numbers. For this rare breed, we introduced the '93 Mazda 626 ES with a V6, an airbag, and ABS. Designed by the new Mazda, a company known for doing things differently. For drivers who feel the same way. The all-new Mazda 626.
Yeah, he wants to get back to Another delay is unacceptable. Yeah, exactly.
Ann Joyce is waging a war
Therapy can't wait.
against the high cost of workers' compensation
On
insurance.
my way to see a supervisor.
She fights for better medical care for injured workers
He's ready. He's on crutches.
so they get back to work faster.
I'll let him do some phone work on sales.
Perfect.
You'd think she'd be the kind of person who'd make an insurance company nervous.
Good news. You're going back to work.
Actually,
Thanks.
she works for one.
Rust. What it can do to the outside of your car, weak, neglected antifreeze can do to the inside. You need the tough anti-corrosion formula of Prestone. Use fresh Prestone every year to give your radiator and cooling systems heavy-duty rust and corrosion protection. No matter what happens to the outside, Prestone protects the inside. Prestone stops the rust that stops your car.
A noble warrior once advised, be vigilant against unfragrant perspiration. My ritual is Right Guard Sport Stick for maximum wetness protection. The best defense is not to offend. Right guard sports tech. Anything less will be uncivilized.
14-10. And Todd Marinovich, Willie Gault, that touchdown stirring the Coliseum crowd. Randy Baldwin getting around the corner and knocked out of bounds at the 28-yard line by the kicker himself, Jeff Jaeger.
Here's the matchup right here. Watch the blitz. It puts the Cleveland Browns into single coverage, and frankly, Jackson at the top of the screen. You see both inside out is the way they're sitting. Marinovich throws it high. The cornerback makes a fundamental mistake. Stay with the receiver. Ends up being a very easy reception for a touchdown.
Well, Marinovich on the drive, 53 yards, going 96 total, 25 on the capper to Gault. The 14-0 Cleveland lead has shrunk to 14-10. 6:47 left in the third period. A rare carry by Tommy Vardell. Greg Townsend, the veteran defensive lineman, makes the tackle at the 31-yard line. Vardell, we said in the first half, the donut ban, the honor bestowed upon him by the veteran running backs. He has to get donuts every morning on the way to practice. Says, I wake up the baker at 6:30 because these guys can't make up their mind what they want. And I can't just get a bunch of glazed. Horde wants chocolate on chocolate, Metcalf nibbles, Brooks samples, Randy Baldwin frosted twist, peanuts for Wolfley, the special team star, Kevin Mack, twisted glaze. They think my job isn't tough. Wilcox underneath the Holohan at the 35-yard line. It'll be 3 yards shy of a first down. Anthony Bell, acquired from Detroit on Plan B, makes the tackle. Winston Moss not in uniform today. Well, there's the Browns rushing. Team total 12 rushes, 14 yards. Now, the Raiders have stuffed any running game that the Browns thought they had, and Bill Belichick felt that after watching the films of the Cincinnati game that they could run on this Raider defense. Not so. Phil Cox, with the crowd helping out the defense, needs 3 for a first down. Triple left. Horde had the intended receiver, but it's knocked down by Andre Bruce, who's playing a stand-up defensive end position for the Raiders.
One of the reasons Andre Bruce was willing to come here is that the Raiders promised him he would be an all-time rusher. Rush the passer on every single play. Pretty athletic move to get up in the air there. Todd Wilcox didn't do anything to move out of the way of that rush, and now suddenly the Raiders have life, as poorly as they've played.
5:12 left in the third quarter, and Hansen will have to give it up by punt. Irvin Fernandez again is the deep man for the Raiders. Whoa! That was the young rookie Derek Hoskins in near a block, and a poor kick as Hoskins destroyed the concentration of Hansen, a 19-yard punt. Now the Raiders will have it just across their own 45-yard line when we come back.
On September 25th, the legend begins. A man committed to the land.
I thought all our colonial scouts were in the militia.
I ain't your scout. You sure ain't in no damn militia.
A woman who invades his heart.
What are you looking at, sir?
Oh, I'm looking at you, miss.
Caught between empires at war. Their love refuses to surrender.
Why didn't you leave when you had the chance?
Because what I'm interested in is right here.
Stay alive, no matter what occurs. I will find you. No matter how long it takes, no matter how far. I will find you.
Academy Award winner Daniel Day-Lewis and Madeline Stowe. The Last of the Mohicans. Rated R. Starts Friday at theaters everywhere.
Once in a great while, A car comes along with such timeless beauty, such intrepid performance, you can't help but make predictions. What do you do when you think something is destined to be a collector's item? You put one away for safekeeping. The new MX-6 from the new Mazda.
Mazda, it just feels right.
Then again, who can wait that long?
On the season premiere of Law and Order, a pornographer's murdered. Stone wants a conviction, but a mother and daughter want revenge. Law and Order premieres NBC Wednesday.
14-10, Cleveland's lead with 5:05 left in the third, but the Raiders have the ball just across their own 45-yard line, and apparently there's a rumor floating around that they played Bob Trumpy's comments in the Raider locker room about not running the ball at halftime, so they came out 43 yards with Marcus Allen on their first drive of the second half. And here's Marinovich going to work deep down the middle. Wide open is Grady, and Grady with that great speed is out of bounds at the 7-yard line. Barry Wilburn saved a touchdown.
Come on, who are these guys really? Are they the same guys that went in at halftime? Crossing pattern by Grady. You can see it's cleared out by Willie Gault, two of the fastest players you'll find in the NFL. Boy, Art Shell pulled out his commitment to excellent speech at halftime, and it's sunk in to this point.
They bring the ball in, spotted at the 6-yard line, first and goal as the Raiders look for the lead. Marcus Allen, he knows the way to the end zone, but he fumbles the ball, and who's got it? Eric Turner on his birthday may have made a terrible mistake going for the scoop and the touchdown had he been able to pick it up, but instead didn't get the ball. Does his teammate cover his play? Still no official signal. And a lot of changing of possession goes on underneath those pilots.
Yes.
You can imagine.
The strongest guy usually comes up with the fumble recovery. Raiders keep it, and Dick, you are absolutely right. Eric Turner, he is trying to make a huge play as opposed to just trying to pick the ball up. Matthews is the guy who appears to strip it away from Marcus Allen. Ball loose right there.
Well, that's a veteran's play.
But now watch Eric Turner, 29. There you saw him just go by. Instead of flopping on the football, he tries to pick it up. Ethan Horton comes up with a recovery, and the Raiders maintain possession.
Even though it looked like David Brandon had pretty good position. It's second and goal. Raiders escape the turnover. Now Marinovich. It's like a schoolyard play. And that hit, and the ball is free again, and they call it incomplete. Eric Turner, now that is the kind of hitting that he's been doing in the secondary for the Browns as he jars Steve Smith loose from that potential catch.
Yeah, when you rock a hitter, you have really made a hit. Turner, 29, the collision on Steve Smith.
Almost came out in the air for the turnover for the Browns. So it's third and goal at the 12. Turner, who suffered a fracture last year that took him out of half of the Browns games, a stress fracture in the leg. He lost 8 games in thigh. Fumble. But Marinovich comes out of it with the ball. I don't know what they're going to call that, a forward pass, I believe, and that would just be an incomplete pass.
He did that with his right hand, too. This kid's looking more and more like Ken Stapler every minute.
And he's injured on the play. An artist is Marinovich. No, I guess he's okay. He acted as though he might have been nicked, and Davis held Davis with a deep breath of air with 3:28 left in the third. Remember that Stabler shovel pass in the playoffs and that continuing fumble that finally wound up for a touchdown against San Diego?
To Banaszak, Casper rolled it about 20 yards, and they wrote about 5 rules prohibiting that.
Holy roller rule. Jeff Jaeger to try the field goal as the Browns deny the touchdown. Another 30-yard attempt by Jaeger, who hit the right upright from this distance in the first half. But he's found the middle now, and the Raiders are within 1 with 3:23 remaining in the third. Cinnamon. I like cinnamon rolls.
Cinnamon.
Can't you get it right? Cinnamon.
I'll be back in a few minutes.
Cinnamon. There's Bardell. He could have done it for me. 14-13. Metcalf at the 5. Has a little opening. No, that's Randy Baldwin out to the 31. Metcalf was returned a couple of kicks for touchdowns, and with that kind of open field, that could have been scary for the Raiders. To the 31, 14-13. The Browns lead the Raiders, and next Saturday will be another Notre Dame Saturday. Irish victorious yesterday against Michigan State. Rick Meyer and company go against intrastate rival Purdue. Coverage kicks off at 1 o'clock Eastern. Notre Dame Saturday on NBC.
Goodness.
That 14-0 lead has been shaved to 1. Bill Cox on first down, and he hits Metcalf in the open. Can anyone catch him? 79-yard touchdown.
Wait a minute.
69 yards for Metcalf.
They did it out of formation, Dick. Look at Art Shell. What is going on? Metcalf out there as the flanker. Ronnie Lott, 42, is out there on the bump and run. Somebody makes a huge error in coverage. And Metcalf, his third touchdown of the day. Excuse me, third touchdown of the day.
2 of them receiving.
Yeah. 4 catches, 114 yards, 69 yards. Goodness.
A hat trick for Metcalf. And now Stover, important extra point, gives Cleveland the 8-point lead, 21-13. Todd Philcox has thrown his first NFL touchdown pass today, and this is number 2, a big one.
A top fuel engine is really stressed when you can achieve 2,000 degrees in exhaust gas temperatures in 4 seconds. It brutalizes the oil. It literally tries to boil it. But Pennzoil has always stood up to that test. It's not only in the race car, it's in all of our street cars, it's in our 18-wheeler, it's in our boat at home, it's in our air compressors, and it's in our generators. And I feel very good about knowing that Pennzoil is in there doing the best job possible for us. Pennzoil, performance, protection, quality.
A better way to catch your Z's is on Sealy's Posturepedic Sleep System. Designed to conform to your shape, distribute your weight evenly, comfortably. Only Sealy Posturepedic has it. So for a better night's sleep, better sleep on a Sealy.
Right now, get up to a $75 rebate direct from Sealy.
Dean Witter believes every investor's success story is unique. From getting in on the ground floor to getting all the way to the top, Dean Witter can help you make it every step of the way.
We measure success one investor at a time.
One oil filter traps 80% more dirt than the leading competitor. Clearly, that's Motorcraft. Motorcraft quality parts from Ford.
Dick, they got Ronnie Lott out here. There are several coverage mistakes. Watch Anthony Bell as Metcalf runs the little slant in. The safety also rotates away from it. When he makes the catch, I mean, he's in line with the deepest Los Angeles Raider. A huge mistake in coverage by the Los Angeles Raiders results in a 69-yard score. The Browns don't mind the Raiders making those kind of mistakes.
3 scores for Metcalf, 2 receiving. Philcox, 69 yards on that pass. He had a total of 66 yards passing in the entire game prior to that play. Stover roots it deep. And Dan Land and Sam Grady surrounded. Hey, did Martin Mull get out? There he comes. Now, I'll tell you what. There's got to be the highest paid T retriever in the NFL. Martin Mull, donating all of his salary today to his favorite charity.
You know, he does it with a certain panache, though. You know, the Mojo guy down in Houston, he didn't go out there and roll around. I do this a lot. I get that deal. That's no big deal. He's just going to run out there a little bit.
At the Raiders score, though, we got to give Run his.
Yes, that's true.
21-13. Eric Metcalf with all 3 Browns touchdowns. And now Marinovich, with 2:56 left in the third period, goes back to work. The offense seems revived, and there's one of the reasons. Marcus Allen using his blockers so well, and out of bounds after an 8-yard pickup.
Well, they've certainly found a productive combination here. Steve Smith and Marcus Allen. It's one that Raider fans have certainly seen in past years. Beginning of the game, it was Eric Dickerson and Steve Smith. We've not seen Eric Dickerson back on the field in the second half. There's Dickerson resting comfortably on the sideline.
He hasn't been in the game since 2:41 left in the first quarter. He didn't look that effective. He's not injured.
That's a bad sign for a man of his age, gaining those yards for this team.
So Marcus Allen, who is also 32, takes over. And number 32 has a first down as he rips off 13 more. Vince Newsom made the tackle.
Again, great running backs seem to have the ability to glide. And Marcus Allen, I think, is one of the game's best gliders. Again, a nice lead block by 35. Steve Smith puts his head down. Newsom, 22, finally gets him down. I think Marcus Allen is making a point here.
Taken out after that tackle. And it's not Eric Dickerson that comes in, but Nick Bell. On first down. Good protection. Into the flat to Bell. And he drives to the 49-yard line, a gain of 6. Clay Matthews, the tackler, along with Mike Johnson. Todd Marinovich and Art Shell. This perhaps the start of the Raider new generation. They figure that this is going to be the quarterback for the next 10 years. He's 20 for 33 today. He's just 29 yards shy of a 300-yard game, a touchdown and an interception. David Brandon looked to be the left shoulder that he injured while making that tackle. Marinovich is an artist as well, isn't he?
Yes. Don't confuse this with Mel Gibson, the snake.
And he's that's just one of many. He said, I want to draw all the great quarterbacks. I started with Blanda. We asked him, well, just bring us an example of your artwork. And so this is Stabler, and he's currently sketching Joe Namath. He's going to work his way through all the great quarterbacks and hopefully finish with one of his own self-portrait. In fact, his artwork, we saw that last year. Remember, around playoff time, he hadn't been playing, so he doodled with a pirate on his own helmet. Little
that may speak volumes to Todd Marinovich. He put sunglasses on the pirate, a little bit of a beard. He is a free spirit.
Yeah, you can underline that. I mean, he came in to talk with us yesterday, and Tim Brown was there, and came in like a bored kid in the schoolroom. He came in, put his head on the desk, on his arm. Said, hey, come on. You know you're going to pass my class with that attitude. He just almost fell asleep during the interview. He wanted to go out and surf. Steve Smith for a couple up the middle.
He does look like, when I read Tom Sawyer, the first time I saw Todd Marinovich, I said, that's not Todd Marinovich, that's Huck Finn. Come on, I can see that guy going down the mighty Missouri.
On a surfboard.
On a surfboard, yes, you got that right.
Well, he's got work to do now in the final seconds of the third quarter. Trailing 21-13. He had rallied his club to within 1, and certainly the offense more productive here in the second half. Bell in motion. On third down. Marinovich dragged down and throws it away, and that'll cost him a penalty. Bill Johnson, the rookie from Michigan State, was the man who was putting pressure from the backside. That'll go loss of down with the penalty, the harshest of all flags.
Referee is the only official on the field that can call intentional grounding. Bernie Kukar did. Marinovich is complaining, but the rule states if you throw the ball away to avoid a sack, it makes no difference where you're throwing it.
So Jeff Gossett will come in to punt, and big Bill Johnson, the 305-pound rookie from Michigan State, the Browns' third draft pick this spring, makes a big play. 17 seconds left in this third period. Metcalf at his 15. What a day for him. Papa Terry, a great player, Pro Bowl player. sidelines. From the 5, Metcalf took a bit of a gamble. Oh, almost broke it down the sidelines. Tripped up and a flag goes down at the 19-yard line.
Dick, the Cleveland Browns have been waiting for an outburst like this from Eric Metcalf for a number of years. They know he's got the talent. They've just not been able to really get it going in the right direction. Nagging injuries, learning a new offense.
Elvis Patterson, the Pro Bowl star on special teams for the Raiders, is the man injured. Elvis.
An illegal block in the back. Number 87 on the return team. On the return, half the distance to the goal line. First down.
55 yards on the punt by Jeff Gossett.
Jamie Holland, a former Raider, with the penalty. A reminder, next Sunday, here's our lineup. It's a doubleheader on NBC starting at 12:30. Denver and Cleveland. With all that rivalry, Buffalo, New England. New England defeated the Bills last year. Buffalo certainly won a lot of new favor with their big victory against the Niners last Sunday. San Diego, Houston, how about those late games?
Pittsburgh is playing very well. Green Bay beats Cincinnati today. Jets 0-3. Miami, Seattle. Miami playing just their second game of the season.
It's all ahead next week is Elvis Patterson in pain as he comes to the Raiders bench. Told us yesterday at practice he had this scheme that would foil the opposition. He wanted to trade jersey numbers right before the game with any other Raider so they wouldn't know who he was. And Local Sal of the Raiders said, I don't think you can do that, Elvis.
What about the name on the back?
That was part of the problem. Final seconds, third quarter, and we'll return to Los Angeles after these messages from your local station.
One step into this paradise will be your last. Kathy Ireland, Danger Island, NBC Tonight.
For all of you with the courage to go it alone, to put your future on the line and your name on the door, there's the corporate card from American Express. Use it for all your business expenses. We'll organize them by category and even provide records of charges. It's a great way for any company to get a handle on costs. Call 1-800-SUCCESS. The corporate card to your success.
Benches that Elvis Patterson bruised his buttocks. So can't be too serious because of the position he now presents. Why did I get myself? That's supposed to be your area, the injury area.
Maybe that's treatment. We don't know.
From the 12-yard line after the penalty. 21-13. Open the fourth quarter. The Browns in the lead. And incomplete for Pete Holohan from sunny Los Angeles to the studios in New York. NFL Live, here's Bob Costas.
I must compliment you, Dick, on your astute diagnosis of Patterson's condition. In the meantime, no one diagnoses what Neil O'Donnell is up to here. The fake into the line and then the bootleg around the left side for the one-yard touchdown, and Pittsburgh widens its lead at San Diego. 20-6. Back to Dr. Enberg and Mr. Trumpy.
All right, Robert. There's another line there, but we're not going to use it. 21-13. Cleveland and the Steelers trying to go 3-0. And this another surprise at work as Silcox in his own end zone, and he gets it off. Oh, what a desperation throw. He avoids the safety, completes a short pass to Leroy Horde out to the 14-yard line. The punting team comes on.
With an 8-point lead, you can see Belichick over there aging 20 years when he backs into the end zone. That's Andre Bruce. He does get it away, makes the completion to Leroy Horde, and I'm sure Gary Tranquill, Belichick, don't do that again.
40-year-old Belichick was the youngest coach in the league last year, and just 1 year later, he's the second oldest in just the AFC Central. They come after the kicker, but Hansen gets away a perfect spiral. Floating down to Fernandez, takes a Browns bounce out of bounds at about the 41-yard line of Los Angeles. 45 yards. No return for Hansen. Tonight, it's an all-new Secret Service based on actual cases on NBC. An undercover agent tempted by the woman he's trying to bust Then on an all-new eyewitness video, seeing incredible footage, a woman surviving a whale attack, followed by NBC world premiere movie starring Kathy Ireland, Danger Island, tonight on NBC. Bob Golick, the former Brown, first time he's played against his Cleveland teammates. Wait, not too many teammates left. In fact, what, in the last 2 years, only 11 men that played 2 years ago in Cleveland are still on the roster. And Allen perhaps trying to run before he caught the ball, and that one was set up.
Yep. 2 linemen in front of him. The Browns come with a safety blitz. Vince Newsom was almost in the face. You'll see the blitz coming from the left-hand side, and Dick, I think you're right. They also run a twist with it. Allen just starting to turn upfield, takes his eye away. That would have gone for a long way.
That's the kind of pass they feel Marinovich will really be very effective with. He's quick and accurate, and that one was a little off the fingertips, but they usually lead his receiver on those short flares and screens. This one downfield, and it's almost intercepted, well covered by Barry Wilburn. Wilburn, interesting story. The former Redskin who did not play the last 2 years. He had Achilles with the Redskins. Everyone felt he might be out of football, and much like Bavaro, Belichick remembered him as a top NFC Eastern defender. Wilburn, he led the league in interceptions 5 years ago with 9, and here he is starting at the corner today for Cleveland.
Very tall for a defensive back, especially the corner. 6'3". You don't find many corners that big. Mel Blount may have been 6'3", but there aren't many that size.
Marinovich under pressure, and it's too tall for Fernandez on the sidelines.
Pass is incomplete, intended for Mervin Fernandez.
In on top of the quarterback, Anthony Pleasant, the defensive end, number 98 from Tennessee State.
Well, this has been agony for both of these head coaches. You see 98, nice inside move. Just seeing the way both of these teams have struggled for Belichick's team, and big plays, turnovers by the Raiders, and then the big catch by Metcalf. And the Raiders have been so sporadic. One good drive the entire day.
3 passes, all incomplete. And Jeff Gossett into punt again. Short kick, fair catch. Metcalf at the 21-yard line. So with just a minute, 4 seconds gone in the fourth, a timeout.
This Heisman moment is brought to you by Mitsubishi Motors, makers of a full line of quality cars and trucks. Jay Berwanger was nothing short of spectacular at the University of Chicago. He's called a one-man team, and there didn't seem to be anything he couldn't do. In 1935, Berwanger received the first Downtown Athletic Club trophy. A year later, this prestigious award would become known as the Heisman Trophy. By Domino's. Call Domino's Pizza right now, and you'll be enjoying our unlimited toppings pizza deal when the game is over.
With Bob Trumpy, Dick Enberg, welcome back to the Coliseum with 13:56 left in the fourth quarter. The Cleveland Browns with the lead and the ball. The offense today, the Browns only 33 plays to the Raiders 61. Raiders outgaining their opponents almost 2-1, at 2-1. But Cleveland leads 21-13. 2 first-quarter turnovers deep in Raider territory turned into Browns touchdowns. Michael Jackson in motion, isn't he? And it's James Brooks, his first big run of the game, 13 yards. That's the Brooks that fans in Bengal territory cheered for so many years.
Just 180 pounds. Eddie Anderson makes the tackle. Interesting call here. You see the motion, and then the right guard pulls and leads James Brooks up through there. Again, Bardell, another lead block by number 44. They capture the corner. See Bardell slam into Anthony Bell.
And the tackle made by the cousin. Brooks and Anderson are cousins from down in Georgia. First down run of 13. Brooks again. Right into the arms of 3 Raiders. Ricky Ellison and Anthony Bell. Two backers waiting for Brooks after a short gain of a couple. The Raiders have lost 6 straight games, including one playoff last year. They start 0-2 this year. They have only been 0-3 in the last 28 years one time, and that was 6 years ago. And they finished that year from 0-3 to 8-8. But it was because of the 0-2 that Jay Schrader is on the bench and Todd Marinovich starts today. Second down, a long 7. Career carry for the rookie Vardell, and he just does get back to the line of scrimmage. One of the reasons they liked Vardell, he rarely lost yardage at Stanford. In fact, he lost 17 yards his whole career, and he didn't fumble once in 4 years.
That's
is that
remarkable.
amazing?
Yeah, that is playing in the Pac-10. There's some big hitting teams in the Pac-10. That is a remarkable feat. The problem with a guy like Vardell is he is best shoulders squared up the hash marks. You get a big guy running sideways, he's generally not going to have much effect on a defense.
His number called only 3 times today and has a total of 8 yards. Third down, 7. Metcalf in motion. He's been the star for the Browns.
Boy, he's open.
And he's got it again. If he stays on his feet, might go all the way. Is it 4? Touchdown! 63 yards. What a day for Eric Metcalf. A career game.
Goodness. He puts a heck of a move on the defender trying to cover him. He turns up the field, gets inside the defensive back. 46, Torin Doran. Great move, and then outruns Ronnie Lott.
Lott got almost a piece of the heel, but couldn't bring him down.
What a day for Eric Metcalf.
Try for point by Stover. And the Browns lead 28-13. Eric Metcalf 69 yards and then 63 yards from Todd Philcox. What a new combination. Philcox to Metcalf.
Thought about wearing shoes?
Flies. At Delta, we love to fly, and it shows.
The Browns kick it off, and another long, booming kickoff by Jeff Stover. They'll take it at the 20-yard line. Eric Metcalf with his 4th touchdown.
Here he comes in motion. Here's Torin Doran in coverage. The move takes place right here. It is a world-class move on a defensive back. You can see also that the quarterback is locked. Watch the move right there. And now here's Ronnie Lott. He doesn't quite, he's not able to catch up with Eric Metcalf. What a day for number 21.
And if you're wondering if that's a Cleveland record, of course, you longtime Browns fans know it is not. And 2 big names are ahead of Metcalf's 4 touchdowns in a game. Share that with you right after this play by Marinovich, who looks for Allen. No, Allen wasn't looking for him. That one was almost a Barry Wilburn. As you watch Metcalf's touchdown, the only man in Cleveland Browns history to score more touchdowns in a game, Dub Jones. He had 6, remember, against the Bears back in '51, and the great Jim Brown had 5 against the Colts in 1959, and Metcalf with 4 today against the Raiders. The last 2 long distance. That one 63. He had one 69 yards in the 3rd quarter, and he just showed you the move. Jones and Jim Brown. Marinovich hit from behind right at the line of scrimmage. If they call that a sack, it'll be the 4th, and Clay Matthews, former Southern California All-America, celebrating a big day, and this is 203rd game.
He's now becoming a pass rusher for the Cleveland Browns because of some injuries to Michael Dean Perry. Catches Todd Marinovich from behind.
But isn't that effort typical of his play in the league? And just as he's lasted 15 consecutive years, a Browns record for him, persevering through that whole play and then making the tackle.
Yeah, he still looks very, very young and plays very, very young.
3rd and 10. Marcus Allen, I mean, he's been in the doghouse, goes in, and he has been the best performer of the 3. He produces.
He keeps emerging, doesn't he?
3rd and inches. The quick. Oh, no. Marcus Allen. And he's pointing to someone else as if he thought the throw should go. The read was go somewhere else, and Allen handcuffed by the throw. Almost like a catcher crossed up by a pitcher. He was looking curveball. And Marchell has to go for it now at the Browns' 40-yard line. 4th and inches.
I have a feeling Archell is already thinking about what to tell this team when this football game is over. This next week, with the change in quarterback, Tim Brown stepping up, Marvin Fernandez sitting down, another loss. Maybe the most important week in the Raiders' history here.
Marcus Allen, you knew he wanted the ball. I bet knowing Marcus Allen, he said, hey, could give it to me. Let's get this first down after I dropped that last pass. Let's go back to business.
Yeah, well, you mentioned the doghouse. I wonder whose doghouse it is. Art Shell and Marcus Allen were teammates. I can't believe that Marcus Allen is in Art Shell's doghouse. Art Shell knows how valuable he is.
And how well liked he is and respected by the Raider teammates. And first down. Marinovich can't unload. Rob Burnett from Syracuse. A big day for the Orangemen. The quarterback Todd Philcox and Rob Burnett, also an ex-Syracuse player.
5th sack for the Cleveland Browns. I think everyone expected, with the Browns' problems with pass protection, they'd be the one maybe with 5 sacks. Burnett with an excellent move right around the veteran right.
Intercepted. Vince Newsom takes it away from David Jones. And Newsom, a former Los Angeles Ram, hurdles out to the 43-yard line. The 4th turnover by the Raiders today. Their 12th in 3 games, and a flag is down. Marinovich, disconsolate. And a personal foul against the Raiders tacked on to the return by Newsom.
Personal foul, number 76, 15-yard penalty, first down.
Steve Wisniewski.
Marinovich showing his anger from behind the defense again. Marinovich is trying to make the big play. Overthrows the intended receiver Jones, who was a wideout with San Diego, now converted to a tight end. Another poor choice. I mean, the ball was thrown into coverage. And who's not going to be starting next week for the Los Angeles Raiders?
28-13. The Cleveland Browns, meanwhile, enjoying their trip west as they're just 6 minutes 53 seconds from their initial win of the year. Leroy Horde for only a yard. Bill Belichick, who took a team that won only 3 games 2 years ago, took them to 6-10 last year, and 6 losses were by a total of 17 points. So he really brought the team back, and you had the feeling that maybe the expectations too high, that everyone this year expected, well, those will be automatic wins this year, those 6, and we'll be 12-4. It isn't quite that easy.
No, not quite. But I must make the point on Belichick. If you won games for hours spent a week in preparation, this guy would be undefeated.